Hey, this is Craig Ballantyne, author of The Dark Side of Discipline, along with Daniel Woodrum, and today you're going to discover something pretty interesting. You're going to learn about the curse of discipline. That's right, there is a curse that goes along with being too disciplined, and you're going to discover why everything you know about discipline is actually wrong. And finally, the ultimate test of discipline that's going to keep you on track for success. If you are a wild horse, that's what I call people who just go around like a raging bull chasing all these discipline challenges. Well, this is going to be a very powerful episode for you. My name is Craig Ballantyne. I'm the host of Early to Rise Radio. Let's jump into it. I have a new book coming out. It's called The Dark Side of Discipline. Stop chasing, suffer less, achieve more. And this is coming out very, very soon. And I'm co-authoring this with Daniel Woodrum, who provided a very, very important part of this book that's going to help you raise your standards in life, because standards eat discipline for breakfast. And we're going to talk about that. Now, here's one of the goofy things that I did on New Year's Day is I went and did one of those polar bear plunges. And listen, I don't think that you're disciplined if you do this. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Vancouver who do this every single year, and they run into the water and it's cold and blah, blah, blah. Are you disciplined because you can do that? Are you disciplined because you can sit in an ice bath? Absolutely not. Recently, I did a training for my good friend Bedros Keuilian. Here he is speaking at my mastermind a couple months ago. And we did Bedros is a huge fan of Shriners, and so we donated $10,000 in his name to Shriners, and he donates millions of dollars every year to them. And so in exchange for having him speak to my group, I went and spoke to his legacy tribe, hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs in that group, and I shared with them this chart that I've created. And what I found is that wild horses in life, and you're probably a wild horse because you're definitely not a struggler, but a wild horse is the type of person who puts a level 10 effort into their level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even level 6 and 7 problems, which are not the most important problems in their life. For example, I came up with this years and years ago while standing on stage at Fitness Business Summit, which was an event that Bedros held. And I looked out into the audience, and there were all these ripped personal trainers. They had 8% body fat, but they were broke. They had $8 in their bank account. 8% body fat, $8 in their bank account. I don't want to be in that position. 8% body fat isn't that important, even though I'm at 9 or 10% body fat all year round, just because I have these systems and standards in place. And so I thought, man, these people, they're so disciplined in the gym, but they're not disciplined in learning sales and marketing. And they would go home from the event, which was all about sales and marketing, and they wouldn't do anything with the information they learned on that, but they would go and get to 7% body fat. And next year they'd come back to the event, and I'd see the same people in the audience, and they'd have 7% body fat and $7 in their bank account. And that's not the way to go about life. So if you're a wild horse, you're probably got all this great ambition and great energy, but you're putting it into the wrong things. Meanwhile, strugglers, they put a level 0 effort into their level 10 problems because they just never get started. The true definition of discipline is something I'll share with you in a moment. But I want you to understand that everything you know about discipline is wrong. I found this funny video on Instagram just to show you what a joke ice baths are. Look at, the video is a guy getting into, looks like some type of community ice bath. It looks like it's in LA, and it's called Coffee and Chill. And there's all these girls in bikinis there for their photo shoots. I went into an ice bath. I'm so disciplined. No, you're not. No, you're not at all. And then some guy gets in the ice bath and he ducks his head underwater. Like, big deal. That's so easy to do. And again, you don't have to have discipline to do it. It just takes like a couple seconds. And so anyways, it's viral video, and it just shows you how much of a joke this whole ice bath thing has become, that people are doing it just to get selfies. And if they're doing something to get selfies, that means that anybody can do it and you don't need discipline to do it. And so if somebody thinks that they're disciplined because they can cold plunge, well, that doesn't mean that you're going to be disciplined in any area of your life. Take, for example, Tiger Woods. He was renowned on the PGA Tour for being the most disciplined golfer. 12 hours a day he practiced. And yet, look at his personal life. He blew it up. He was married to a model, and he cheated with a waitress from Perkins. And if you ever saw the pictures, you'd be kind of confused. So he was completely undisciplined in some areas of his life, while being the world's most disciplined in other areas of life. And I want you to understand that everything you know about discipline is wrong. You're not disciplined because you cold plunge. Because you cold plunge, it means you can get into water that's really cold and sit there. That's all that it means. Just like Tiger could go and play golf for 12 hours. Could you play golf for 12 hours? Probably not, but you can sit in a cold plunge. So who's disciplined? Like, what exactly is this? It's just become this social media thing. So discipline is not about doing a whole bunch of things. It's not about doing, quote unquote, hard things. It's not about suffering more at CrossFit than somebody else. No. And worse, chasing another person's definition of discipline is the least disciplined thing you can do. So when you see somebody out there who says, I work out twice a day, and then you start working out twice a day, but you neglect your family, that's a bad idea. Doing triathlons, but not having difficult conversations with your spouse or partner who's upset that you're doing triathlons doesn't mean you're disciplined just because you can exercise for 4 hours a day. So understand that everything from reading a book a day or week or whatever it is to cold plunging to working out twice a day to drinking a whole bunch of water every day to even dry January. Like, if that's not your definition of discipline, but you're chasing it because you think that you're going to get some dopamine hits from it, it's the least disciplined thing you can do because you're sacrificing on what really matters. So to find true discipline, we have to back up and we have to go to your big why and your perfect life vision. And I focus on this when I'm coaching my clients, even though it's kind of a weird thing to start off with when I'm coaching entrepreneurs and they're like, oh, I want to be one funnel away. I want to get the sales and marketing. Craig, just give me, how do I get more leads? Well, tell me about the vision for your business. Where are we going to be in 3 years? And they're like, oh man, no, I want to get, so I don't care where you want to get to. We're going to get there. But let's start with your vision, because then I know what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do and what I must stop you from doing. A lot of people, they want to be entrepreneurs, want to make big money, but they also want to start a podcast and a YouTube channel and all this stuff. And they never go out and sell anything. And they wonder why nobody wants to listen to their YouTube or their podcast. It's because you've never accomplished anything worth listening to. You've never built a 8-figure business, 9-figure business. So why would anybody listen to your podcast? Never written a book based on actual things that you've done. Most people, even who write a book, they've lived 6 out of 10 chapters. You can't write a book when you haven't lived 10 chapters of it. And just because you made your first $100,000 online doesn't mean that you should go and write a book about how to make money online. You've only lived 6 of your 10 chapters. Your book will be incomplete. So people get way too far ahead of themselves, chasing other people's definitions of success and definitions of discipline and thinking they have to do a million things, that they get so far on this detour that they never accomplish what matters. But if you sit down and think about what really matters for you to accomplish in 3 years, and only like the top 3 things, including one of them being your personal life and 2 of them being your professional, then I can say, okay, I know the straight line to success. And all these other things are a complete detour. And if you do them, you're not going to accomplish what you want. And that's what people need to understand. Your values and vision must drive every single decision. Your values and vision must drive every definition of discipline. And if you don't know your values, you don't know your vision, you don't know your big why, you haven't concretized this on paper, you haven't, I created the rules for my life 15 years ago and I still live by them because they're eternal and they keep me off chasing shiny objects and on wild goose chases and all sorts of stuff that people get on because they don't have discipline to stay on what really matters to them. So the ultimate test of discipline, it's not a cold plunge. It's not an exercise at the gym. It is not how many books you read. It is not, my wife is really into this travel hacking stuff. And she says, hey, have you ever heard of raw dogging a flight? And I'm like, good gosh, no, what on earth does that mean? So, not wearing underwear or something. And raw dogging a flight, you guys are probably wondering where the heck this is going. Raw dogging a flight means you're on a flight, and I don't know if it's like a certain number of hours, but you don't get out of your seat and you don't drink any water and you don't use the entertainment system. So apparently all these travel hackers have this thing called, I raw dogged this 4-hour flight from LA to New York, or 5-hour flight, and it's become a thing. That's not the ultimate test of discipline. Oh man, people have so ridiculous things. I remember like 15 years ago, remember the ice bucket challenge? Remember everybody doing that silly thing? Ridiculous. You want to go and donate some money to, I think it was Lou Gehrig's disease or something like that. Go and donate some money to it, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Pouring cold water on your head. Look like fools. So the ultimate test of discipline, to get back on track here, it goes like this. The ultimate test. Here's how you're going to do the test. You just need 2 columns, problems and efforts, problems and efforts. So under the first column on the left, under problems, list your 3 biggest problems in your life. What keeps you up at night with anxiety? What gets you up in the middle of the night? What do you start thinking about first thing in the morning in a bad way? Is it your financial status? Is it your business? Is it your career success? Is it your body composition that you have to lose some weight? Is it your blood cholesterol level, blood measurements? Is it your drinking habits? Is it too much weed? Is it porn? Is it some other vice? You don't have to share this with anybody. It's very helpful if you share it with a coach, but you don't have to. But just list your 3 biggest problems in your life. Maybe you're in $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Maybe your business is struggling because you don't spend enough time in sales. And maybe because of that, you do binge eating at night. You don't drink, you don't smoke weed, you don't use pornography, you don't even watch Netflix, but you're about 20 pounds overweight because you binge eat at night, your business is struggling, and you're $10,000 in credit card debt. Okay, so cold plunging going to fix any of those? Nope. Reading a book a week? No, not even reading a book a week won't even fix that. I mean, you could read a book a year and take action on it versus reading a book a week and not taking action on it. The person who read one book in a year and took action on it would be further ahead. So what's really, really, really going to fix that? So beside each of these problems, you got your 3 problems there. Identify the level of effort you are giving to solving this problem. Do you wake up every morning, look at your bank account, look at your credit card statements, and figure out ways that you can reduce your expenses and increase your income so that you can cut that $10,000? If you don't, you're not giving a level 10 effort. And that means you're not disciplined because you have a level 10 problem. You need to put a level 10 effort into it. So identify on a scale of 1 to 10, how big is a problem? And they should all be 10 problems, level 10. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, what level of effort are you putting into solving these problems? If you only think about your credit card stuff once a month, you're putting like a level 2 effort into it. If you don't do any exercise and you aren't doing anything to stop your binge eating, you're putting a 0 effort into overcoming your weight problem. And if you are only doing social media and not doing any selling because you fear rejection with selling, you don't know how to sell, you're not learning how to sell, again, you're putting like a level 2 or 3 effort into your business. If you simply put a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem, you will change your life more than any life hack ever will. So the ultimate test is figuring out what level of discipline and effort you are putting into your biggest problems. And discipline is defined in our book, The Dark Side of Discipline, as putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem. That's it. It's not cold plunging or doing hard things. It is simply putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem. Anything else is a perverse form of procrastination. It is, to use kind of a politically incorrect phrase, motivational masturbation. If you are doing cold plunging and you have problems in your marriage and you're not having any conversations with your partner, your spouse about your marriage, but you're cold plunging, that's motivational masturbation. It really is what it is. It's a perverse form of procrastination. And you got to stop that and you got to sit down and do the hard things. So only when you're putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem are you truly disciplined. That's it. It's so simple. It's so simple. So we go back to that legacy tribe training and I had so many DMs after saying, Craig, I'm a wild horse. I'm trying to start this business, I'm side hustling, I've got a full-time job, and I'm putting a level 10 effort into a level 5 problem like working out twice a day. Anybody who works out twice a day is not a professional bodybuilder. You are procrastinating on something. Like, do you not have anything better to do in your life than work out twice a day? Just can't understand it. And I don't count like walking the dog as exercising in addition to going to the gym. Like going to the gym twice a day. If you're going to the gym twice a day, what are you doing? Seriously. Anyways, so you probably have a level 10 problem and you're not putting a level 10 effort into it. And I'm sure there's somebody at the gym for the second time in the day listening to this on the Stairmaster or something, wanting to strangle me, which is not a workout, so it wouldn't be your third workout of the day. Anyway, so that's what I got from people. And I said to them, if you want to do great things, you have to do fewer things. If you want to do great things, you have to do fewer things. James Clear in Atomic Habits says, success is not about littering your day with life hacks. Right? You're not successful if you do cold plunging and infrared sauna and all these things. I understand that there may be some physical benefit to them, but the person who I consider the world's most disciplined man did not exercise after he finished his army time at age 18. He did not have a regular exercise. He lived to 99.9 years old. He was a multi-billionaire. He loved to eat a bag of peanut brittle all at one time in one sitting. And he would never do a cold plunge. Never. His name was Charlie Munger. He had everything that a man would want. He had money. He had a great marriage. He had children, he had power, he had respect. And he mentored the world's richest man, Warren Buffett, who was the richest man in the world for a time. He lived his life. He ran his race. He stuck to it. He wouldn't care what anybody else thought. That's the world's most disciplined man. And so you have to go back to your values and vision and figure out what you want and then do everything that gets you that and ignore everything else. If you want to do great things, you have to do fewer things. When you're struggling in your business because you're a wild horse and you're doing 19 things before breakfast and then you have no time for sales and you have no time for the most important things, you have to reevaluate your life and you have to go and you have to step back. Success is simple. You have to stop making it so hard. Stop making it so hard. Identify what matters, stop doing what doesn't, and increase your effort on what does matter. That's it. Ruthlessly eliminate. People love to quote essentialism and they love to quote the one thing. They love to quote it. When it comes to applying it to their life, they don't like to do it. Why is that? It's because humans love to procrastinate. So you must get essential. You must focus on the one thing. You must identify what matters, stop doing what doesn't, and increase your effort on what does. So the way that we help our clients is we have clarity, structure, and discipline. When we can get clarity through our values and vision, then we're able to make the right decisions. We're able to get aligned in our structure. We're able to automate the actions that become success through system building. And that eventually leads you to the money and meaning that you want. You want money, you want meaning, you want impact and income. And you're going to be able to do that when you have clarity, structure, and discipline. So we would love to see you at our next mastermind event in April. We're focusing on the 80-20 principle. We're going to help you master the few and ignore the many so that you can do great things by doing fewer things. So if you want to attend our meeting, we can meet our great coaches here, then just comment mastermind under this on my YouTube channel or send an email to support@earlytorise.com or hit me up on Instagram at @RealCraigBallantyne. Because I've given you the ultimate definition of discipline, putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem. Everything else is a perverse form of procrastination. And if you're not getting the results you want, you got to take a hard look in the mirror and figure out what does matter and spend more time doing it. This is Craig Ballantyne from Early to Rise Radio. I look forward to seeing you soon and look forward to getting my book out to you. Oh, it's going to be out real soon. Keep an eye out for The Dark Side of Discipline.